Welcome, dear students. Today, we are diving into a critical case study that sits at the intersection of international relations and macroeconomics. We are going to analyze the current oil crisis in Pakistan. As scholars, we must ask, why is a nation struggling with record-high energy prices when cheaper options are available right across its borders? Is this a failure of market forces or a failure of sovereign foreign policy? Let's break it down. Now, dear students, let's first look at the concept of strategic autonomy. In 2023 and 2024, the world saw a shift in energy markets. While countries like India utilized discounted Russian Ural crude to stabilize their economies, Pakistan's approach remained inconsistent. We need to understand the why here, the payment barrier. Because Pakistan's financial architecture is heavily tied to Western systems, the state feared secondary sanctions. This is a classic example of how financial dependency limits a state's rational actor capabilities in IR. The Iran-Pakistan IP pipeline. As many of you know, a treaty was signed back in 2014. Iran completed its side, but Pakistan halted construction. The economic blow. By early 2026, this delay led Iran to seek an $18 billion penalty in international courts. For a student of economics, this is a nightmare scenario, paying billions of dollars not for resources, but as a fine for not taking the resources. Dear students, move your attention now to the western border. We often think of war and economics as separate, but they are deeply linked. In early 2026, the escalation of conflict between Pakistan and the Afghan Taliban moved into open military engagement. Now, we will understand how this affects the price of oil. The prescribed conflict. Many political analysts suggest these military operations were aligned with external strategic interests to secure diplomatic leverage with the West. The trade breakdown. When a state enters a conflict with a neighbor, the first thing that dies is regional connectivity. Border closures at Torkham and Chaman don't just stop trucks, they destabilize the currency. The direct link. When the rupee devalues because of regional instability, the cost of importing oil from the USA or Gulf allies, which must be paid in dollars, skyrockets. This is how a security decision in the morning becomes an oil price hike in the evening. Now we must discuss the conditionality of international finance. Why can't the state simply lower the price of petrol? Let's analyze the debt trap logic. Because the state failed to secure cheap energy from Iran or Russia, it ran out of foreign exchange reserves. To avoid default, it turned to the IMF. The IMF mandates a petroleum development levy. Dear students, this means the high price you see isn't just the cost of oil, it is a tax used to pay back interest on loans that were taken because of poor energy planning in the first place. To conclude our lecture today, we can see that Pakistan's oil crisis is not just an economic issue. It is a symptom of a foreign policy that has struggled to balance great power relations with regional reality. As you study, remember this: a nation that cannot choose its trading partners freely cannot control its own inflation. I want you to think about this. If Pakistan had prioritized the 2014 Iran treaty over external diplomatic pressure, how different would the current inflation rate be? Let's discuss your theories in the comments below.